All right, Steve, I'm gonna set up the segment and you take it where you want to go. It's your canvas, poster, whatever. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Uh-oh.
All right. You're gonna write about your favorite road trips this week. It sounds like you're thinking about it. You might be.
I am now.
Okay.
It's a
You are
segment. It's
now.
my poster. It's
All
my,
right.
yeah, yeah,
Your canvas.
my canvas.
So let's dive into that. What are some of Steve's favorite road trips and why? And are you gonna say specifically a school? Are you gonna say Penn State and Auburn 2022? Or,
I'm going to start with the city first, just because we
okay.
went there, Chicago. I mean,
Yes.
it's a big city. You still get the college vibe on campus in Evanston. I mean, not still in the city school. Ryan Field's part of it. Deep Dish Pizza's part of it. The architectural tour on the boat trip is part of it.
I love that Steve does the architectural tour on the boat trip.
Well, he had to remember because he blew his last trip there because he booked the wrong time for the airplane.
Yes, yes. So you've
Um,
made the most of it, is what
yeah,
it
so
sounds like.
Chicago's good. Notre Dame was probably our first road trip, big road trip, and that was good because it was our first. That's where we learned about cornhole years ago. Like what's this cool game? And then we brought it back and started doing it ourselves. So that one. And then we've been blessed. We did Alabama, what, 10 years ago now, 2010 or 11, when it was miserable hot down there with Coach Paterno and whatever else. And people were so kind and polite. I mean, they were going to kick our rear ends, but the kids were kind. It was nice. It was like stepping into a bad movie where we go into the bar with the red door and we're the only people and the music like stops. We're the only people in blue and white and all the other kids look at us and it's like, we're like, oh, Penn State people, how y'all doing? What's going on? And that was just
Were they
great.
nicer than Auburn people? Who was nicer? Because they're the Auburn people were the nicest
It's
people on the
close because
planet.
as you were talking about this, I was trying to give you three to keep it brief. So Notre Dame, Alabama, and I think Auburn's slightly nicer. Both RV trips with Alabama and Auburn, but the RV trip for no, Alabama was a flight. Sorry, Auburn was an RV trip for a couple days, so that added to it. Um, but Auburn had the musical rumble strips, which was cool.
You do love those.
I do love
Yes.
those. Tumor's Corner.
Every time I go over Rumble Strip now, I think of Steve.
There you go. Tumor's Corner with the regular lemonade was almost as cool as the Yellow Hammers. And I think what tips the scale for Auburn, and it is the polite thing. It is the guy who had the RV and was having like the bachelor party in the parking lot. And the neighbors, the Penn State neighbors came back, and one of their family members was at the hospital, and he unhooked his truck from the hitch of the trailer and threw his keys at him and said, "Y'all go take care of your family members. Come back when you're done."
Good,
That might have been the trip
good
that might have
people.
been what weighted it in terms of that. Oh, and peppermint patty shots were introduced to
Schnapps
us,
shots. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
at
Yeah.
Auburn. So Auburn's just ahead of Alabama.
Auburn is up there. I think that one in particular, the niceness of the people, the highlight of that whole thing was we we walk around the corner and these people go, "Y'all want some Jello shots?" I think I've told this story before, and we're like, "Sure, yes, please." They're like, "Don't worry, they ain't too strong. Ain't too strong. We got to get up for church in the morning." So there was that. They were the nicest people. It was cool to experience the SEC like on campus tailgate thing. I had never experienced that before, so it was neat to. So that one is up there for me. Um, Really, anytime you have to go to Chicago is like that is why we are going on Thursday so we can hang out in Chicago more because
Our
Chicago
decision.
is our city that we would like a lottery dream house type thing move to tomorrow if you know if it was possible because it's a great city, it's a cool city, and then you can kind of get to pretty much anywhere else you want to kind of be from Chicago. Um, and it's weird because like Northwestern isn't really that like there's no appeal. There's no the appeal to go to Northwestern is to go to Chicago. Sorry to Northwestern folks, but that's really it. Um, and the one I don't know if you've been there. The one I have two more that I want to mention, but the one that I want to specifically mention is Wisconsin. It is the most beautiful campus, I think. Well, second most beautiful campus in the Big Ten, but the coolest hub, student union building. It sits on a lake, and you can just sit out there and drink. And they sell brats, and it is everything Wisconsin should be. They sell spotted cow, which is great. The
Did you just correct
stadium.
yourself to second most beautiful just to protect Penn State? Like, was that what you did there, or is there
No,
another one?
there's another one that is
Okay, so
better,
Penn
but that
State's
one
third on your list of beautiful campuses in the Big Ten.
correct.
Okay,
Correct.
Okay.
Indiana is number one in that
Okay.
category.
Okay.
And that's also in addition to pizza, Mother Bears is a big
So
reason.
the We Are In's going to sponsor us, but the Alumni Association not so much.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Um, no, I think the other one, and I don't know if you've been there either, but is Nebraska. Those people talk about nice people,
Yep.
the nicest people. The hello, welcome to Lincoln. You can't walk from here to there without out hearing that, out being offered a beer, out be like it was very cool to see that and experience that. They know that there's, they're they are, in fact, speaking of Iowa, I think Iowa to me is the worst. Like that every time we've gone there, it's the worst fans, the rudest people. It's also just the state of Iowa in general. And it's like Lincoln and Nebraska is the exact opposite of that. So
We've heard. I mean, we didn't go to Wisconsin 2 years ago because we didn't know if we are going to get tickets and if they're going to open the stadium up pandemic wise. Turns out they did, and we could have, but whatever. So I'm looking forward to that rolling back on whenever they do, and Nebraska. I mean, probably my wish list, those two, and then the two new ones. Well, not the two new LA ones, the two Northwestern United States ones once they roll on.
I am excited to see the Coliseum. That's just kind of like a sports venue I want to see. It's not maybe necessarily bucket list, but it's up there. And I am excited to go to Seattle. I've never been to Seattle, so um, I don't
Yeah,
know if Oregon
you can hit
excites
Nike and
me.
stuff as a side trip or something though too.
Sure, yeah, and I
I'm
think
sure they
honestly
have
that's
approved Pub World, so
more go explore the Pacific Northwest than
right.
than anything else there. Um, do you have a worst one? Because for me, it's Iowa. Minnesota is second closest.
We had a good time in Minnesota. We've been there. Really cold when we were there
Was
too.
it
Outside
was it
weather.
outside or was
Yeah.
it okay?
I know. Yes,
It was
yes. Outside.
it
Outside.
was in the new stadium.
Yes. I think the worst is the one I don't want to go to and really haven't gone to for Penn State, but covering Pitt, Ohio State in my days there. Those people were just miserable to Pitt, and Pitt was god awful. So I don't know. I mean, I assume they're not horrible to Penn State people, but and people have said that they shook their head like, oh no, it wasn't so bad. I just don't know that I have a desire. And Iowa, everybody, nobody except for the people we tailgated with this week who brought 12 Iowa people with them who were wonderful and nice and good. I don't know that I want to go to Iowa based on recommendations from people I know and love.
Iowa is the only stadium where I've felt a little unsafe in. Like it's just I don't feel good there. Ohio State. Everybody always says that about Ohio State, and everybody's been relatively nice. Never, no real jerks, no real like it's been relatively nice. Like I think they kind of we're back to the Alabama thing. They know you're gonna we're gonna kick our butts and
Right.
go on with the
Yeah.
day. In Michigan, people have a certain arrogance to them that they have a degree from Michigan and they want to let you know that
We've had a good time when we were there though. We've had stories, we've had good people. Like we've been there twice. That's been good. Um, so yeah, I don't know. There's not Minnesota, or I'm sorry, Wisconsin and Nebraska are on the list to go to if we get a chance again. Um, but that may be it from the traditional. Oh, Indiana. I mean, people have said the campus is
it.
beautiful, and that might be an easy trip and a fun / different trip, and closer than Iowa for sure.
It is the nice thing about the couple of nice things about Indiana is if you go at the right time of the year, they have so many trees there and it's elite fall foliage. But then all of their buildings are sandstone. So like all of their buildings are really neat. The other thing that is cool about there, they have the largest student union in the world. And in that student union, you can go bowling. So we have gone bowling a couple times on
Yeah,
game day,
nice.
both before and after.
Very cool.
So yeah, that's a fun. Those are our little guide to the Big Ten, so to speak.
There you go.
Um,